Dream Crush, Dream Crush, Dream Crush.
Dream Crush.
All right, so the entire top 8 was going to draw. But
We explained the math, and Bram figured out that he actually couldn't advance his place by drawing. He's at 9 points, and he has the pair down. So Bram and Mark are actually playing, and if Mark loses,
he could get knocked out.
he could get knocked out of the top 8. So that's the match we're going to watch.
Yeah.
Bram's going into the Dream Crush mode.
Yeah. Bram is in no matter what. Even if he loses, he'll just have a lower seed.
Mark is probably still in because his breakers are going to be really good.
Well, so actually his...
Someone knocking on the door. I'll be back.
Once again, Mark's breakers... Oh, yeah. You gotta turn that on. Whoops. Mark's breakers, I think, right now are somewhere around 55. The highest 6-pointer is about 66. So actually, if Mark loses, I think there's a pretty reasonable chance he will get knocked out. Which... Sorry about that. But we needed a feature match. It's the things we do for the stream.
This is for you, folks.
Yeah.
Everyone at home.
All 2 of you.
There's 3 people, I think,
You
now.
lucky ducks.
We got other people watching the stream on their phones.
Oh,
outside.
yeah, that's true.
Top 8 competitors getting the inside scoop.
Yeah,
from
that's
the experts.
kind of cheating. No.
Nah.
Okay, alright. Anyway, we're just going to watch some Magic. Yeah, here we are.
Looks like they have decided to begin the game.
That's a good decision.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Strong,
I like
strong
that.
call. We need to change names.
Yeah. I always
Why don't you
forget
go?
about that. All right.
That is
okay,
not
here we go, here
Katie's
we go.
husband.
That is
That is
God.
Bram Christie.
That is Bram.
Um,
I hope
and
it's not Katie's
while
husband.
he's a handsome man, I don't think AJ would appreciate Katie making moves on him.
I don't think so. I mean,
Unlikely.
especially not the kind of like we're married moves.
Yeah.
Is it Y on this one?
No, it's IE.
IE. Okay. All right. And what is Mark's last name?
Granger.
Granger.
All right, so let's find the deck list here. So
Bram's playing mono
yeah,
red.
Bram's a bad person.
He's
so
that
he's
guy.
playing mono red.
You know,
Who's Bram's deck
wants to
list?
attack some
Look at
people.
this shitty
I don't
list.
even want to look at this. This makes me sick.
Yep. And we are seeing from Mark a green. It's a bug energy style deck.
Walking Ballista type or more?
I do believe he has walking ballistas in
Okay.
it. Let me make sure. Let me find the deck list. Please hold.
Sure.
Please hold for a long time. Apparently, is it over there?
Could be. No.
Did Mark print his out? He was the one.
Yes.
Here we go.
Things of note in Bram's list: 3 copies of Karizev, a full 4 Hazarets, 1 Chandra. Other than that, pretty usual stuff. Oh, there's an I in there.
Yeah.
Good
like
call.
The normal way you spell it.
What?
Okay, and Bram's off to a good start. Yes, it is a snake. It is a snake ballista version, and this is also not too dissimilar from what I think I want to play. He has 3 Ripjaw Raptor in it.
Mm-hmm.
Now he does have some numbers that I'm a little bit.
He's playing just black green. He's not playing bug.
Yeah, you are right. He's
Okay.
just playing green
Yeah.
black. He has 1 Vraska in the main board, 2 Aether Sphere Harvester. There are some things. He's only running 2 Glint Sleeve Siphoner.
Mm-hmm.
And he's running 2 Greenbelt Rampager, 2 Rishkar and Aronis, and 3 Long Tusk Cub.
Those are some interesting numbers.
Yeah.
I'd like to know how
I'm sure
he
has
came
a
to
reason.
those conclusions.
I'm sure he has a reason. Reasonably confident it's wrong. I don't know. It feels like if you want Long Tusk Cub in your deck, you want to draw it on turn 2 as often as
It
possible.
looks like Bram just threw away a Bomat Courier that had 3 or more cards under it so that he could abrade this Greenbelt Rampager.
And gain 1 damage with his other Bomat Courier.
That doesn't feel good. Oh.
Speculative.
Also, it's not round 1, guys, in case you were wondering.
Can't take Matt anywhere.
It's round 4.
Yep.
It's been round 1 this whole time.
Okay, and we see a naked Rishkar, which is not the best thing in the world, but the truth is it's a 3/3.
Are we allowed to show that on stream?
Yeah, because it has a die covering the nipples.
Oh, good. Thank God.
And we see the 3rd Bomat Courier.
That's
here
many
from
Bomat
Bram.
Couriers, and also the third removal spell. So these couriers are chipping away.
Yep, getting some work in.
But
and here's an 8/8. Now the question is whether or not he has another Abrade
or an on-crop crasher.
Yeah, Abrade obviously the better of the two.
On-crop crasher attacks for 3.
Abrade makes it so his 8/8 never blocks again.
Doesn't matter. Well, he's got a Soulscar Mage.
We're gonna agree to disagree, by which I mean matchup.
I don't agree to that.
And here we do see the 8/8 just stonewalling
Yeah.
Ram. This could be a point where Mark is turning the corner, depending on what the remaining cards in his hand are. It looks like one of them is one of them appears to be a spell. I thought it was a Never to Return, but he does not appear to have any of those.
Yeah, he's certainly going to need more. The 8/8 is a good start, but unfortunately it can't really attack because...
At this point in time, he can't.
Oh, and just as I say that, in it goes.
It depends on what his other spell is.
Mush.
Oh, that's 2 lands.
2 lands.
So this is pretty aggressive.
Now, I'm not great at math, but it seems to me as though if Bram has pretty much anything, Mark is going to lose the race here.
I think so. I think he might be at a point where he's realizing that he has to get some pressure in because he's going to lose to burn damage at some point.
Sure.
But the problem is, these Bomat, he's going to draw 5 cards this turn with these Bomat couriers.
Yeah, and Bram looks like has nothing right now, but he's going to have something here in a second.
He's going to have some cards.
So down to 10. Lightning Strike face, I think. Down to 7, and then...
And one more from the Soulscar Mage.
Oh, sure, this is before damage.
Yeah,
but now, so, interestingly, Bram only has 2 red sources in play, so he actually can't cast that Lightning Strike and also cash in both of his Bomat Couriers.
That is true. That is true. It may not matter because Mark just drew another land. And is pretty unlikely to win this game, I think.
It's looking grim.
Yeah. So, at this point, what do you do?
Attack?
Right?
That's what you do.
Gotta get him dead. Maybe there's nothing under this corner.
Honestly, though, it's the only way he can win, right? Because he's got lethal the next turn, and Bram needs to deal 4 damage.
Right.
Lightning Strike does it.
He's got 2 on board.
Right. Hazaret does it.
Pretty much.
Well, Hazaret only does it if he can attack with it.
And he cannot. Oh, he actually...
What's his other card? Is it an on-crop crasher? No, Soulscar Mage. So he can play the Hazaret.
Okay.
And
Yep. Yeah. So Mark
so
appears to be quite dead.
Yeah, the Bomat Couriers were good enough.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to get across the finish line under the assumption that really was 2 lands that I saw. It looks to be two swamps to me.
Yeah, I mean, Bram's also got to attack.
Yeah.
He does. He sees it. Does Mark have it? Does Mark have anything?
I think he's dead.
Mark has no life points.
Yep. 0. Okay, so how do you feel about this matchup in general?
Well, it's pretty similar to the matchup we watched in...
I'm trying to hook up our...
What are you doing?
This is our mascot. It's Cedric the Sedge Scorpion. This is one of my favorite cards from Theros. It is completely unplayable, except in Limited it has Death Touch, which is the single best keyword in that in that set.
Nick is actually well known for using a Whip of Erebos to put a Sedge Scorpion in play to block an opponent's creature. Which
not just an opponent's creature, a little kid's creature.
Yeah. And a bomb rare, right? It was like something really good.
Nah, it's just something.
For those of you who don't know, you can't do that.
I was new to the game. I was a cheater.
You were dirty cheater.
Yep.
I'm surprised they didn't kick you out.
Still feel bad.
Mm-hmm. You should. Anyway, pretty similar to the match we just recently watched. Except in this case, Mark...
People are cheating?
Well...
Like AJ getting in with that snake?
Yeah. Less cheats, but same kind of thing. Also less egregious. Mark is kind enough to actually use his energy counter.
Yeah, that is true.
It's little things.
Yeah, that's important.
The notable thing here is that Mark being just straight green-black as opposed to the blue splash, his mana is better. Not by a lot. The bug mana is pretty good.
I don't really know if it's that much better, to be honest.
A bit. I think we're going to see pretty much the same thing with the exception of course, that he lost the first game.
Yep. Okay, so in his sideboard, he has a Sky Sovereign Console Flagship, two Blossoming Defense, 2 Cartouche of Ambition, 1 Vraska, 1 Nissa Vitals Force, 2 Death Gorge Scavenger, 3 Duress, a Vraska's Contempt, 1 very spicy Torment of Hailfire, and a lone Bristling Hydra.
Are there any Bristling Hydras in his main deck?
There are no Bristling Hydras in his main deck.
This is a weird deck.
It is. I think, personally here, I'm definitely bringing in the Death Gorge Scavenger, right?
That card's
It's just
great.
obviously great.
Yeah.
And then, personally, his removal spells in the main are 4 Fatal Push, and that's it. Mm-hmm. I think I'm getting this Vraska out of my main deck and bringing in a Vraska's Contempt.
I like the Vraska's Contempt. I actually think Bristling Hydra is very good against mono red as well. The hexproof. So it's a big blocker. None of their creatures can attack through it except Hazaret, and sometimes not even Hazaret. And none of their removal hits it, and none of their falter effects can hit it. So it's just a really good brick wall.
Yep.
The big winner here in the sideboard is Cartouche of Ambition.
That card is hot.
That card is pretty close to unbeatable from the mono red deck if they can't kill the thing that you put it on.
But yes, it's quite good.
Really good.
Still trying to get Seji in the...
Bram has 2 Chandra's Defeat, 3 Harsh Mentor, an Aethersphere Harvester of his own, a Pia Nalar, a Sweltering Suns, 2 Chandras to go with the one he has in his main deck, a Vance's Blasting Cannon.
That's hot.
Mm-hmm. 3 copies of a card that I cannot read.
Glorybringer.
Glorybringer. With an S. He wants us to know he has more than one.
Yep.
And then a single copy of Insult to Injury. Glorybringer is great in this matchup.
Absolutely.
As I mentioned, that's the one card I was surprised Katie didn't have. That's big. It's big here. Apart from that, Harsh Mentor seems good. He knows his opponent at least has Walking Ballista in his deck, probably. Not sure about Longtusk Cub.
Right.
Seeing a Verdurous Gearhulk in game 1 certainly, I think, leads to...
Snake Ballista.
Well, it implies Snake Ballista, but it also implies that maybe he's not leaning quite so hard on the energy theme.
Right.
That he's kind of a more old-fashioned, straight-up Snake deck. So,
which is
I don't know about
the version
that.
I prefer.
But I think the Harsh Mentors are probably still good. And then Chandra, maybe not.
I like Chandra in this matchup. Most of the creatures are small enough that 4 damage kills them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's another source of incremental card advantage.
Yeah.
Sedgwick's bringing the heat. Yeah, so here we see them post sideboard. Mark starts with an Aether Hub.
It's not a good start, but he's gotten a tune.
He did draw a tune this turn.
Looks like he started the game with like 12 energy. That's
quite good.
Yeah.
I think he has another Aether Hub in his hand as well. Which is something that would concern me in an opening hand.
Hold on, I'm slightly confused.
He has
Mark was on the play, right?
Yeah.
And he's casting in a tune.
He drew it this turn.
Okay. Did he mulligan? Did I miss that?
No.
But he... Okay.
I don't understand your question.
It just
He's
seems...
gonna play a forest.
It just seems to me that if he kept a hand that didn't have an attune to start with, and the land he played on turn 1 was an Aether Hub, potentially his hand was not very good.
Yeah, I think it was wrong. I think it should have been a mulligan. Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely think it should have been a mulligan. Yeah. But it seems to have worked out. He drew a tune, which was the most important card, and now he's going to play a snake. He's going to leave one energy in his pool, but he's going to get 2 energy from this Aether Hub, so he should be at 3 now. Yeah. Which should allow him to cast some spells here. He also appears to have 2 colorless spells in his hand, a Ballista and a Aethersphere Harvester.
Sure.
So I think he should be able to cast quite a few spells this game without really eating into his mana. But yeah, I'm inclined to agree. If your hand is Aether Hub, no way to make energy, I just think that's a mulligan.
Yeah.
I don't think you can...
I mean, maybe the spells he had were, like, best possible for the matchup, but...
I mean, it was Snake, Ballista, Aethersphere Harvester, but it seems greedy to me.
Yeah. I think I'm just inclined to the mulligan in a position like that. Having mana is so important. And I mean good mana.
People are booing Sedgwick. I think they have no souls.
I think only one person. And that might be the kid that you whipped the Sedge Scorpion into play at instant speed against. So
it says 1987, and that was obviously a little kid that I did.
Well, 1987 might be like the year his parents got married.
All right, I've been learned. I've been learned.
Oh gosh,
right.
I thought that was a Ballista on 4.
Yeah, so this Ballista on 2 is going to be pretty good. The question is whether he is going to actually activate it this turn. I think he shouldn't. I think he should untap and he should try to win the game by literally only putting counters on that Ballista until he's made.
That seems reasonable, especially because we're not looking at a board that you might be familiar with from Mono Red, where they have like 2 1-power creatures that you could just trade, the Ballista for right now.
Sure. All right, that might change my plan.
Yeah, now that the snake is gone...
Now you're hoping to draw untapped land and put 4 counters on this Ballista. And I really do think that counter is worth saving and not killing the Ragavan.
Yeah, I agree.
I just don't think gaining 2 life with that counter is as good as it should, as the potential of having just a 6/6 blocker.
And he'll have the option of making that same exchange at later turns.
Any point in time. It's not like
so yeah, I like... Oh, and there was a tap land off the top. But he has another walking Ballista, it looks like. So
yeah,
he can...
I think that's actually going to be pretty good. He can use 1 counter from each if he wants to get rid of the... Oh. That's
okay, so he's opting for this. What this does allow him to do... Well, it doesn't allow him to do a whole lot.
I would have put another counter on that Ballista, I think. I think Ballista is... one of your, if not your best card in this matchup. Maybe the argument is Snake is because it facilitates Ballista and some other stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean that's just how you beat. That's just how you beat Mono Red is you.
Yeah.
Put a bunch of counters on your Ballistas and remove all their dudes, and then eventually they run out of gas and you kill them.
Yeah.
And right here we see. There's a Harsh Mentor in Bram's hand.
And also a 1-drop, though. He's going to be able to attack with a Hazoret this turn. I love the way that Bram just, puts his Hazoret on the table and then casts his Soulscar Mage and just holds it out as if his opponent is going to counter it.
Yeah, fun fact of the day. If Hazoret resolved, everything's resolving.
Well, I don't know what exactly you think your opponent is potentially going to do about either of those spells in their black-green deck with all of their lands tapped.
Sure.
But still seems like a little bit of shadiness going on there.
I don't think it's shady.
I just
think it's good BMing.
Put this Hazoret in play. Would you like to counter my 1-drop?
I think it's some high-quality BM is what it is.
All right.
So at this point, normally I would say put all of the counters on the Ballista. But I actually think you want a 6/6 in this specific game. Which is a bit awkward, because you'd really like to have the counters on the Ballista. It's a lot better.
Oh wow, Bram won a game. Look at that.
That was very fast.
Oh,
Mono Red's quite the deck.
Yeah.
Okay, so he decided to put all 6 counters on the Ballista. Now there is a subtle interaction if you choose to block with a walking Ballista, and it takes some amount of damage.
Yeah.
When you go to remove a counter from it, if that counter was the amount of toughness that kept it above the threshold of damage, it will die.
True.
That's something that not a lot of people know, and it's important to keep in mind.
Yeah. I mean, I've certainly seen games in which that was relevant, so something to think about.
This Harsh Mentor is
gas.
Absolutely absurd here. If you have to shock yourself every time you remove a counter from a Ballista, you basically just don't get to remove counters anymore.
It's just in play, so Mark is committing to just not using the Ballista.
Yeah, he's probably going to use it as a 6/6 to block the Hazoret.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately, I think that means he's probably going to lose the game.
He's got some life points to work with. He can bounce off of the Hazoret every turn and also eat a creature every turn with the Gear Hulk. Unfortunately, the Gear Hulk can't block Karizev by itself because it has Menace. Right. And Bram's going to be untapping with an on-crop Crasher next turn.
Right. Fortunately, he did only take 2 damage this turn. I think. Unless I'm losing my mind.
Did he block the Ragavan? Okay.
Yeah. And I actually don't hate that block. because you've got to do something basically this turn to not die. So I think that's fine.
Yeah. It seems like maybe taking 1 extra point of damage to actually get a creature off of the table might be worth it, but it's close. His life total is quite low, so he has to be careful.
Yeah, so keeping that specific one point of life allows him to shoot the Harsh Mentor twice, be at 1
against the Hazoret,
die to the Hazoret, or he can not shoot it and then also die to the Hazoret.
Okay.
So he's got lots of options here.
Yeah. Multiple ways to die to Hazoret.
Yeah, it's basically come down to whether or not Bram actually knows what his cards do. And from my experience playing as Bram, he does know how to read.
Oh.
So that's...
I thought you were going to say something else.
does appear to know how to read.
Also, Hazoret is one of the notorious harder cards to play in Magic, because people tend to forget about a lot of things.
Like Heckbend.
Like, yeah, that you can't attack if you have 2 cards in your hand, and that it has an activated ability that deals damage to your opponent.
Yeah.
Both things I have seen, just not happen.
Yeah, I've actually watched a very good friend miss out on lethal because he went to combat without activating his Hazoret. And not playing another card, so he couldn't attack with it.
Was your really good friend playing in the semifinals of a Pro Tour?
No.
Oh.
It was you. Yeah, that was unlucky.
Oh. Well.
All right. It appears that Mark is really, really on the fence about whether this land in his hand is going to do anything.
I'm going to go with no.
Hard pass. Yeah, probably not going to do anything. He does appear to have a spell in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look like a very good one, being that he is just in the tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suspect if it were good, he would probably have put it in play already.
Now...
Or onto the stack.
He's doing some math. By my calculations, he could actually put Bram to 4. But that's not 0.
I don't think I think he can only put Bram to 5.
I think 4, because if he puts a counter on the Ballista...
Takes 2 damage.
Yeah, well, so you start... Oh, see, yeah, okay.
You have to
so actually, he can only put him to 6 then.
Yeah,
because each counter is 2 points of damage.
He can get in for 9, and then 5. Yeah, so he can put him to 6.
Yeah.
Or he can attack for 10. Put him to 10. Shoot it twice. Put a counter on it. 5. So he can put him to 5. Yeah. Math checks out.
Well, no, because he can't.
Go to 4. Put a counter on it. Go to 5. 5 you. You're at 5. 10. 10 minus 5.
Oh, okay. All right. I see. I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some finagling there.
Yeah. Yeah. As someone who has played good cards in Standard,
why would people do that?
You really, it's very interesting to do the math with Walking Ballista. It's really complicated. You have to be able to add and subtract 1 a lot, which is hard.
That's difficult. I haven't had to do that since like first grade.
So Mark has been in the tank for
a while,
quite a while here.
But this is important.
Remember,
if he loses this game, there's a good chance he will not be playing in the top 8.
Oh, it actually was a good card. Look at that.
Ooh, okay, that does stuff.
Yeah, he's gonna go ahead and gain 2 life here, and then die to Hazoret.
Well, not necessarily.
I mean, he's dead on board.
So he goes up to 7. He blocks. Oh, because of the on-crop crasher.
Yeah.
That's not great.
Yeah. So we're back.
Oh, and he's at 0. There it is.
Unlucky. Yeah. So we're back to the position where Bram is going to have to be able to read, which I believe he is able to.
Okay. It looks like he at least knows that Hazoret has an activated ability.
Which has been...
That is step 1.
Been pretty important.
Mark down to 5.
All right.
A lot of power,
he's
including...
going to be attacking with significantly more than 5.
Now, let's say
he also has a land that he can throw at him.
Let's say Mark has a removal spell before combat. He's still Just dead, right?
If he has a removal spell before combat, so if he fatal pushes the Harsh Mentor here, he's not actually dead because he can kill all of the creatures but the Hazoret and block the Hazoret. But the last card in his hand is a land.
Okay.
So it's not going to quite get it done.
No.
Also, it's unlikely he'll be able to win that game still.
Because there's a Hazoret in play.
Because there's a Hazoret in play.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good. Because he can go, activate Hazoret a couple times. Yeah, and it seems that he found the line. This line does potentially lose to a removal spell, but I don't think you can play around that anyways.
I mean, yeah, I don't think you actually lose, like you said, to a removal spell there. It's just
You do,
slightly
you
worse.
Cannot die, right? Oh, you don't, because you don't get to keep your Ballista. Because you have to use all the counters.
But anyway, Bram is the winner. 2 games to 0.
And that's going to put Bram in the number 1 seed.
Number 1 guaranteed.
Which is pretty exciting.
So for the record,
Mark
did we keep a copy of the standings?
It's on the wall.
Go get it.
Okay. Mark actually can still make.
No, he can. It comes down
8.
to breakers.
His breakers are pretty good, and they're only getting better here. Mm-hmm. So he's probably still in.
Before the round started, Mark's breakers were 55, and the highest of the highest
of the sixes.
No. The highest of the highest of the 3s was 66.
Okay.
So if that player won,
could be close.
It could be very close.
I'm gonna go ahead and get the standings. I believe that they're still out on the pillar.
I hope so. Is Mr. Scorpion coming with?
No, he's just
taken for a walk.
No.
All right.
Cedric's chilling.
So that's going to be the end of the Swiss. We're going to take a quick look at how we think the top 8 is going to look. We can confirm 7 players, essentially, in the top 8. And then there will be an 8th seed that will be up to breakers. And who knows? Anything could happen.
Yeah, so if we see Ray Varela win, there is a chance that Mark will have been knocked out of the top 8 here.
What we can say for sure is that Bram is the 1 seed.
Yep. AJ will be most likely the 2 seed, with Eric, our green-red dinosaur player.
Yeah, made it.
Being the 3 seed.
Yeah.
That could flip based on some of the results of other people.
But those 2 are 2 and 3.
They'll be 2 and 3, and based on the breakers, it's pretty likely that AJ will stay in the 2 seed.
Yep. And then we can also confirm spots 4 through 7.
4 through 7 in no particular order will be Evan Truitt, Katie Carta, Jason Barr, and Michael Rivera. Then the 8th position will be either. Well, actually, Mark could even potentially be ahead of one of them. Oh wait, no, they all drew. So the 8th position will either be Mark Granger or one of the players in our 3-3 match, which was
Ray is the only one who can pass him in breakers. Like mathematically.
I don't think that's necessarily true. Because it depends on literally everyone else's results.
Right, but so if half the players in the tournament drew, these players all started with the same as him, and he played against someone who is now 4-0, and they played against someone who is now 1-3.
Sure.
There's only one player who can pass him, and that's Ray.
All right, and Ray is playing Matt Blake, so we'll be waiting on the result of that match to know. Also, Ray might still not be able to pass Mark. Mark's breakers are going to be very good.
Even if Ray wins, he may still.
And interestingly enough, if Mark makes the tournament, makes the top 8, he will then immediately have to play Bram Christie.
Yeah, we will see a rematch.
Yeah, well, we won't see we're going to pick a fun matchup.
Yeah,
but
Mono Red is.
Someone will.
Come on. There were 2 Mono Red. So only 2 people showed up playing Mono Red. They're both in the top 8.
Yeah, they're probably going to be the 1 seed and the 4 or 5 seed.
Yeah.
So
it's a good deck.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of does. It does all the things that Austin's deck didn't. Every card you draw does the same thing.
Yeah.
They're all pretty efficient at it. And none of them are particularly exciting.
Yeah.
except for Hazaret. Hazaret can really
No, even
bring
that.
the beats.
It's just Hazaret.
But yeah, it's
Been there,
it's
done that.
kind of the other end of the spectrum from Austin's deck. Whereas Austin's deck, has a lot of clunky cards, but can do some really interesting stuff. And looking at the standings, it does appear that Austin managed to actually beat someone at some point.
I mean, that's an accomplishment in itself. Now, what I want to know is how did he win? Because if he won by just like attacking with that one dude who just like gets huge with your artifacts,
we're just gonna pretend that he won with mechanized production.
that I'm going with that.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Because then I can say that we got the hero that we needed.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to build up a whole trove of treasure. That's fucking hard to say.
A trove of Trevors.
That's very hard to say.
Many Trevors.
All the Trevors.
Every
well,
single
8 of
one.
them. There's probably more than 8, but you need 8 to win.
Yeah.
Or 10
8
depending.
Trevors. It can't be that hard to get 8 Trevors all in one spot.
Yeah, I think I graduated high school with 8 Trevors.
Yeah.
All right. I think that we have a little bit of time before the top 8 announcement, and before we start streaming for the first round of the top 8.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go try to get some food.
Food.
Yeah.
What is that? Even.
It's OP is what it is.
All right. Well.
So we will be back in a few minutes to get the top 8 started.
Oh, you're really bad at this.